Hey everybody, welcome back to another 2020 Toyota Tacoma video. Well, this week, my friends over at 12 Degrees North were kind enough to send this LED under hood light for me to install and try. So I've got the instructions, I've got the lighting kit, and I've got the truck in the back. So let's get started. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. Well, here at the truck, the first thing I'm going to do, according to the instructions, is go ahead and clean the mounting surface, which is going to be along this area right here. I've got some Windex on a paper towel, and of course, my truck is pretty clean. It's a 2020, but if yours is older, or if you have a buildup of dirt and grease, you may want to pay special attention to this area. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe that surface off, and we'll go to step 2. Even this, as a 2020, you can see there was a fair amount of dirt right there, dirt and dust. So, important step if you want this to stick for a long time. So we'll let that dry for a second, and then we'll get started. Okay, when dealing with the actual LED strip here, what I've done is I marked the exact center of it. I just lightly folded this in half, got the center, because I want to make sure that this is mounted on the truck so that it's centered on both sides. One thing I did, which is recommended in the instructions, is I happen to have a roll of painter's tape, and you may not, and if you don't, that's okay. You don't absolutely need it, but I went ahead and laid out this line, which does curve just a little bit with the hood, but basically I'm going to install the light on that side of the line to kind of ensure, you know, that it's on there relatively straight. So now it's time to mount the light. Okay, with the backing removed, the 3M backing, I have lightly placed this into its place. I have not secured it fully and smoothed it down. I'm happy with the placement. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is now fully secure it, and then I can take the tape off. Then we'll move on to the wiring. And just one more thing real quickly. If you have OCD and you care at all, I highly suggest running the tape down there like they have suggested, because this LED strip is very flexible and it's very easy to bend it around. So I think that tape was a really good idea. Let's pull it off and get to tucking the wiring. Moving on, the wire, and I'm gonna wait until I've got the wire in place to go ahead and secure this, but the wire is tucked. There is an edge right here, and it goes under here. The goal is to bring it out down here out of this grommet right there. So the tolerance on my hood was very close, so I had to sort of carefully bend this brace out of the way to make enough room for not just one but both ends of these wires to go through. So I wanted to show you that. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that a little loose right there. Tuck it down there. I'll have to read the instructions to see how to maybe best get it out of this grommet right there. So stand by. Guiding these wires down here was no problem at all. It pretty much falls into place. Then with a pair of needle nose pliers, you can just reach in and carefully pull them down. So go ahead and pull this down. First, I'm gonna go back to the workbench and grab that grommet that came with it. With this little grommet here, just slip it over the end and then kind of push it up into place till it clicks in. That'll prevent chafing, although I have to say the insulation on this is very good, and chances are you probably wouldn't have that problem, but better safe than sorry rather than having, you know, this ground out against the chassis. So Now just gently pull this down. Guide that into place. Much of this wire can be tucked under there, so I am going to leave some slack. I suppose now I can go ahead and figure out exactly where this switch goes and put it into place. That way everything is all nice and tight until we get to the battery. And with this mounting area right here cleaned, go ahead and peel this backing off. And I do appreciate the fact that this is real 3M double-sided tape and it's quite strong. So just go ahead and give it a little bit of slack. I think just like that. And the rest of it can be tucked in. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck it in and we'll meet you back down there. Oh, incidentally, I realize the color of my truck makes it hard to see, but you can see the model truck that they used here is white, so it stands out a little bit better, but basically exactly the same. All right, moving along, then I've got the wire routed down there and there's plenty of it. I've decided I'm gonna go ahead and secure it to the existing wiring loom afterwards, just because that way you can see how much left I have to, tuck in or whatever. But the chassis ground right there is 10 millimeter. Go ahead and attach this. That is your positive side. This, of course, is your negative or ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that 10 millimeter and secure that, and then we'll move on. All right, with the ground securely fastened, I guess the only thing left to do is connect the power. But the instructions want you to go ahead and pull out the fuse first, this blade type fuse, which it comes with, which I will do. And then we can make the final connections. Moving on, just need to go ahead and crimp the power lead to the fuse holder, and be mindful that there is some heat shrink right there, which will slip down. So we'll go ahead and get this crimped in place with my crimpers. I will have to locate a lighter or my heat gun and go ahead and melt the heat shrink around it, and then we can make the connection. And with that crimped in place, there is enough room inside this blue sleeve right here to tuck the rest of the insulation in there. I just wanted to show you that. It does tuck in there nice and neatly. So let's go ahead and melt that into place. Well, of course, I couldn't find a lighter anywhere when I needed one, so an old hair dryer worked just fine. That's nice and secured around there. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some of this mess. Then we'll make the final connection. And it'll be dark in probably about an hour, so we'll have to wait to see the final results. And next, we're gonna go ahead and pull this rubber protective cover back, and there is a 13 millimeter right there. We're gonna go ahead and loosen that, and under it, we will place this. But first, I'm gonna make sure I route everything so it's nice and tidy. And like I said before, the last thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and tuck and secure all the wires. Now, mind you, the fuse is still out at this point. It's in my pocket so I don't lose it. So let me go ahead and attach that. And with this secure, go ahead and put the fuse back in the holder, secure everything so it's nice and watertight. And then you can go ahead and tuck all of this down wherever you want it. The kit did come with a couple zip ties. It's up to you, I guess, where you want to use them. Like the instructions, I'm going to go ahead and secure mine along that factory wiring loom, and so I don't want to see any of that, so it's nice and out of the way. Final step, let's get that secured. Okay, with all the wiring tucked in, and I'm confident you'll find a place to kind of stash it. I've got the fuse holder here, just kind of tucked in down here with the LED facing up so you can see it. It's totally out of the way, no problem at all. So then the last thing to do is go ahead and turn on the switch. And we have light. I realize with the sun out, it's not very impactful right now, but like I said, we'll wait about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll do the final reveal. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. Well, it's not dark yet, but it's getting there. But I figured this would be a good time to show you the light in operation. So let's turn it on. Looks pretty good. And welcome back. Almost dark. I wanted to show you the light this puts out. For those of you curious, this is a 5500K color temperature. So I would say slightly bluer than natural daylight, but to me it looks good on this dark gray Tacoma. Overall, puts out a very vast amount of even light. I think if you were doing anything from maybe broken down, stuck, having some sort of evening tailgate party, whatever, I think you would have plenty of light. I would say I'm pretty happy with this. It's a good addition to the 2020 Tacoma. I know they offer all sorts of other vehicle off-roading accessories and lots of parts over there. So make sure to check them out. Again, link in the description. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. One more project done on the 2020 Tacoma TRD off-road 4x4. So for now, that's it. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side.